Good morning. Dear students, in the previous videos we have discussed solutions. Today we shall discuss heterogeneous mixtures. You know that a mixture may be homogeneous or heterogeneous. In a homogeneous mixture, the constituent of the mixture do not have visible boundaries, and its composition is uniform throughout its mass. Solution, alloy, air are example of homogeneous mixture. A heterogeneous mixture does not have uniform composition, and it has visible boundaries so that you can separate them easily. There are two types of heterogeneous mixture, or we can categorize heterogeneous mixture into two groups, namely colloidal and suspension. A colloidal is heterogeneous mixture which consists of two components: a dispersion medium and a dispersed phase. A colloidal is classified on the basis of particle size of the dispersed phase. The particle size of dispersed phase in a colloidal solution is intermediate between a true solution and a suspension. That is, the particle size of dispersed phase in a colloidal is greater than solution but smaller than a suspension. The particle size of the dispersed phase is between 1 nanometer to 100 nanometer. So a colloidal may be defined as a heterogeneous mixture in which the particle size of the dispersed phase is between a true solution and a suspension, that is from 1 nanometer to 100 nanometer. A colloidal solution has certain characteristics. Properties. Number one, though a colloidal solution may appear homogeneous, but actually it is heterogeneous. The particle size in a colloidal is between 1 nanometer to 100 nanometer. The particles in a colloidal cannot be seen with the naked eyes. A colloidal solution is usually stable. That is, the dispersed phase does not separate from the dispersion medium when it is allowed to stand undisturbed. अगर आप इसको बिना हिलाए हुए बिना डिस्टर्ब किए रखें तो पार्टिकल्स जो होंगे डिस्पर्स फेज के वो अलग नहीं होंगे, सेपरेट नहीं होंगे. A colloidal solution exhibit an important phenomena called Tyndall effect. What is Tyndall effect? If a strong narrow beam of light is passed through a colloidal solution, the path of the light becomes visible. अगर आप एक बीकर में colloidal solution ले लें, for example, you have taken a colloidal solution of starch in water, and a strong beam of light is passed through it. This strong beam of light is produced by a torch and a converging lens. The path of the light will become visible. आपको जो लाइट है वो दिखाई देने लगेगी. This phenomena is called Tyndall effect, and it occurs due to the scattering of light. In colloidal solution, the particles change the direction of incident light, and due to this random change in the direction of the light by the colloidal particle, the path of the light becomes visible. This phenomena is called Tyndall effect. Second example of heterogeneous mixture is a suspension. A suspension is a heterogeneous mixture which contains insoluble particle whose size is greater than 100 nanometer. Example, muddy water, this is an example of suspension. We shall discuss properties of a suspension. A suspension is heterogeneous. That is, it does not have uniform composition. Number two, it is unstable. That is, if you prepare a colloidal solution of chalk powder and water, and when this mixture is allowed to stand undisturbed for some time, the chalk particle will settle down at the bottom of the beaker. So a suspension is unstable, that is, the particles do settle down when the mixture is allowed to stand undisturbed. In a suspension, particles can be seen with naked eyes. The particles of the dispersed phase in a suspension are visible to us. Since the particles in a suspension are large enough, they are retained by a filter paper. Therefore, you can separate a suspension by filtration. Can be separated by filtration. Like colloidal, a suspension also exhibits the phenomena of Tyndall effect. A suspension also exhibits the phenomena of Tyndall effect. If light is passed through a suspension, the path of the light becomes visible. This is what we call Tyndall effect. That's all today's.